This is the second video, and this is about the time of the Neviim. This is the second Tekufos, the second time period. This is the time of the Neviim. As Bnei Israel gets close to the borders of Eretz Yisrael, Moshe dies. Yeshua takes them over. Moshe was the main teacher of Bnei Israel. There were other teachers that were experts in the Torah that had learned from Moshe that were teaching the people, but Moshe was the main teacher. Yehoshua takes over after Moshe Rabbeinu, and it's now Yeshua's job not only to be the leader of the Jewish people, but to also teach them, to be the Torah leader of the Jewish people, and that becomes Yeshua's role. After Yeshua, there are many, many other prophets, many other Neviim, and their job is not only to be the political leaders of the Jewish people, but they also have to teach the Torah. They have to keep teaching people. New cases keep coming up, and they have to take, remember we said that Moshe Rabbeinu learned the principles at Har Sinai of how the Torah Shebaal Peh works, of how the explanation of the Torah Shebechtav, the 5 books of Torah, how that works. Those are the principles. The prophets and the scholars at the time were commanded to teach the principles and how they apply to new cases. Okay, that was the job of the prophets and the leaders of the time. Okay, now, and that's how the people learned how to keep the Torah as time went on. There were many people that became the leaders of the Jewish people. We're talking about a time period over the next 1,000 or 1,500 years. Okay, now the Jewish people then go into Eretz Yisrael. Eventually comes time to King David. Shlomo HaMelech, who also takes on this role, David and Shlomo, of teaching the Jewish people Torah. They build the Beis HaMikdash, and that's how life goes on for about 1,000 years until the Beis HaMikdash, from the time of Yeshua until the Beis HaMikdash is destroyed. The first Beis HaMikdash is destroyed. The Jews go out to Bavel. They live in what's today is called Iraq. That's Bavel. That's after the destruction of the first Beis HaMikdash. They go out to Bavel, where the Purim story occurs. That's only a 70-year period before they come back and build the second Beis HaMikdash. Okay, now, during the second Beis HaMikdash, that's when the Hanukkah story takes place. Remember, we had done this earlier in the year. That's when the Hanukkah story takes place, during the second Beis HaMikdash. Okay, after the destruction of the first Beis HaMikdash, let's go back a second, right? After the destruction of the first Beis HaMikdash, when the Jews move out to Iraq, to Bavel, so there, in that time, the Jews are for the first time without a Beis HaMikdash. The Anshe Knesset Hagdolah, I want you to remember that name. The Anshe Knesset Hagdolah, 120 great Jewish leaders, they go ahead and they start making rules that are called rabbinic rules. The rabbis are given the power. We're going to explain which rabbis, but the rabbis this time are given the power to create rules. They're not extra mitzvos. We're not allowed to add to 613 mitzvos. They're what's called Dinei Derabanan. Write that down, rabbinic laws that teach you how to protect the Torah, to make sure that the Torah isn't violated. We're going to go into details with this in a couple of weeks, but essentially telling you that this marker is muksa, means you can't use it on Shabbos, because what we're scared of, even if you're not going to write with it, we're scared that maybe you'll keep it in your pocket, and then accidentally you'll write something down on Shabbos. To make sure we don't do that, the rabbi said, no moving a pen on Shabbos. That's an example of a rabbinic law. Okay, and that's what these rabbis are instituting. Okay, they're instituting rabbinic laws throughout all times, but especially these Anshe Knesset Hagdolah during the times after the destruction of the first Beis HaMikdash in Bavel. And they also write the Shemon Esrei. They write all the brachos. They create this idea of a shul, of a synagogue. All of those things are created during this time after the destruction of the first Beis HaMikdash. Okay, you can go ahead and answer the questions.